facility.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor say yea.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Hearing none, we'll move on to motion C to adopt resolution 2021-09, authorizing the execution of the Berks County dispatch agreement. All those in favor?
Move.
We need a motion.
Move.
Second.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye, so.
I'm looking at the figures and every time I see the figures for 140,000, 43,000, 43,000. And then I kind of look at per diem, what that would cost to run ourselves, like the city of Reading, I guess, does. And I guess this isn't that bad for 24-hour coverage, so I would say, yeah.
Well, and I'll also mention that, I mean, these fees have existed. You know, when we pay these fees annually, the county just memorialized it via, you know, a formal agreement now, so all the participating municipalities know what type of increase they're gonna get. In the past, there was no set system, but they on CPI, so it's just memorializing the dispatch fees that we pay.
All right, we'll call that again. All those in favor, report saying yea.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. The next one is motion to authorize the Hay Road Apartments letter of credit reduction based on August 16th, 2021 letter from SDE. The amount to be retained is $788,000 for $192.76. Any
Move.
comments?
Should have a motion first,
Move.
then discussion.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right. Any comments, concerns? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
With yea.
Okay.
Any against? Hearing none, we'll move on. Motion passes. Motion to authorize the township manager to execute the memorandum of understanding with the Berks County Planning Commission to prepare joint comprehensive plan. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to comment. Again, we've been talking about this for the last couple of months. I know there was some concern, the amount comes within the $40,000 range. If we were looking to have a private firm come in, I think we paid in the neighborhood of $50,000 to have a professional firm come up from Monaco, and this was back in 2003. So we are, you know, even though we're spending money to have the county help us with this plan, and we are doing the bulwark in-house, you know, it is still a lot less money than if we were to go out and find a private firm who basically would come in and just kind of rubber stamp a couple of things and move on. I think the approach that we've been taking is the right approach, using in partnership with our friends in Marldale. And I think having the county help direct this, you know, keeps us in the loop as far as other plans taking place within the county, so we can only benefit from that. And I think getting public input is extremely important. So, you know, as the municipal leadership, you know, we have an eye towards what the community would like to see itself develop into over the course of the next decade. So I know there were some concerns about the cost, but in the long run, we save money, and I think we're gonna come away with a much better product than if we just farm it out to somebody else.
That we get our community's input that way. Good.
it was really interesting to look at the prior plan to see the number of things that were in that plan that were accomplished. And it was, what, 80% or so?
Yeah.
Something of what was in that plan. So, you know, the input of the public is important. You know, you're living here, so, you know, look, help us direct us for the future.
Anything but? All right, need a motion. Roll call, not roll call vote. We'll go with yay. All those in favor say yay.
Yeah.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We're gonna move on to motion to authorize Public Works Superintendent to close portions of Beaumont Street for the 2021 St. Marco Festival.
Moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call, all those in favor say yay.
Yeah.
All those opposed? Hearing none, we'll move on. Motion to approve the minimum municipal obligation of $703,537.00 for the uniform pension plan.
Move.
Second.
Discussion?
Well, I just looking at the figures and I heard that this is actually $100,000 less than last year,
Almost 200,000.
which should be good for our budget, right?
Yes.
Depends on what that stake is. We'll see what happens there.
Right.
Right, all those in favor, say yay.
Yeah.
All those opposed, hearing none, motion passes. We're moving to, H, motion to approve the minimum municipal obligation of $491,155.00 for the non-uniform pension plan.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for, all those in favor say yay.
Yeah.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. We're gonna move on to other new business. I have one, motion here to bring up, for the sinkhole on Oak Street. Through, award, bid to Reamstown Excavating for the amount of $48,000 for slip lining, to repair that pipe.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Frank. Sure, the only thing I'd like to mention is that this is an emergency repair. We have a failing pipe underneath Oak Street, and we explored a couple of different options. The sinkhole became apparent last year to us. However, the condition of the pipe worsened. We were contemplating doing traditional excavation, but one of the challenges with the area is there's a transite water main that the MTA owns and operates, as well as terracotta sewer there. So we made the decision not to do the traditional excavation and go with a lining, essentially, you know, re-sleeve the interior of the pipe with a new pipe rather than go in and excavate down to the pipe and install new.
Okay, any other comments? Right, all those in favor say yay.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Public portion, second public portion. Ready?
Does anybody wish to speak?
Okay. Staff comments.
All good. All good.
Keith, anything?
Oh, yeah, just for the public, we have a new officer that's in the field training program right now, is doing quite well, Tyler Shoebridge. We've hired 2 other officers without police experience, and they're currently in the Reading Police Academy. And just generally, I was noting, you know, by your police report, some of the more prevalent calls for service that we have are domestic disputes and problems and arrests. And retail thefts are a big problem for us, as well as like credit card fraud and white collar crime. So detectives and officers are constantly working on those. So the public knows what kind of things we're experiencing out there.
Thank you, Chief. Jeremy? Tim?
Riverfest is next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to talk more about it, I will steal your thunder. If you don't want to, I'll keep
Go
going.
ahead.
Okay.
Take your thunder.
Friday, Sunday, well, I don't know if thunder. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, food vendors, music, 2 different stages. Good times, stop out. Jupiter Park,
That's it.
that's all.
How many vendors are out there? Don't, how many vendors?
Well, right now we have 65 vendors, 18 of them are food vendors, 20, I think 20 plus are, 18 are entree vendors, 20 plus are more of a snacky food vendors, as we call them. Then there's some crafters and some home-based businesses, things like that.
You got a brand new stage this year?
We do the new acoustic stage,
New
yeah,
Acoustic stage, you're gonna be more lights on?
more lights, yeah, and we've got some streamlined features, yeah, the trail lights are gonna be automatic this year, so, yeah.
Want to thank Tricia Reed for the Adirondack trails.
Right, we didn't get those yet, yes, you're right,
We didn't get them yet?
not yet,
We're
we
going to.
got a week and a half.
Okay, is there anything, any other new developments you need to tell them about?
I don't think so, is there?
Are you sure?
That's why I left the thunder up to you.
That was
You
good.
seemed like you were gonna be able to handle it. You're doing fine. Okay. Just checking. Riverfest, 27, 8, 9, Friday 4 to 10, Saturday 10 to 10, Sunday 10 to 7. So, if you're not there, shame on you. You'll be kicking yourself for a whole year if you miss this festival. See?
Got it.
All right.
Dawn?
Just want to remind the public that the trash bills are due at the end of this month, August 31st.
All right, good. Moving on to Commissioner. Commissioner Lynch, Director.
Thank you. Nice job, Rick. You know, it's hard, you know, first of all, it's hard, you know, to be elected, a public official. You know, there's a lot of people think they can do it. And, you know, I've said it many times, you know, when you're actually sitting up here and making decisions, you know, they are a lot more complicated, you know, than sometimes they seem. And actually sit down and run a meeting, till you do it once or twice, you know, it can be difficult, a little challenging, so nice job there. I was at the wine and dine the other night. We had a really good turnout. I want to thank the Rotary Club for all they do, all the service work that they do for the township and just people in general. We had a good time, so I am looking forward to Riverfest. I think it's going to be a blast. It'll be nice to be out and about again. So do come because the planning commission will have a tent set up where the residents can come and interact and help us make some determinations on what direction we want to take the township as far as our comp plan goes. So residents are welcome to come to Riverfest, stop by, talk to the planning commission, and weigh in on where you'd like to see us in the next few years. They have some interesting information and a way to take your input. So hope you all get a chance to come out. And that's all I have. Thanks for coming out tonight, folks.
Commissioner Imhoff.
I'm gonna let Steve go and I'll follow him.
Okay. Commissioner Wolfinger.
Well, you know, to go along with Riverfest, the Friday night concerts this year, I think have been fantastic. I've been to every one of them. The bands were very good. You'll see some of the bands at Riverfest that played Friday night. The attendance, I mean, there were some evenings we had 800 people there. And actually, I'm surprised we don't have more. Every time I drive out there and I hear the music, I'm thinking, why don't we have more people here? Just like some of our neighbors don't know what's going on, and it's a nice evening. The police had their national night out, which was really well attended, and police helicopter in, and the kids were really enjoying that. And the police did a very nice job. Parks did a very nice job. It just shows what we in Muhlenberg, I think, we get a lot, I think, we give a lot to our citizens. And for the people who are attending here tonight, I'm gonna put Jim Bobick on the spot here. I'd like their opinion on recycling.
Oh.
So why don't you give them a little show as to what you think you'd like to do?
So there's a blue recycling can over here at the side of the room. It's a sample from a company. We have the option to purchase them. So every 1 to 2 years, well, it depends, whenever the state opens the grant cycle, the township can apply, and we've applied, I've applied in 2014, 16, 18, 20, we'll apply again in 21. We're currently writing an application now. And the application this time will be for new recycling containers. So what Steve's wheeling out, that's a 45-gallon container on wheels with a hinged lid. If you have a recycling container from the township now, it's a 25-gallon bucket with no lid. We have the option to use those 45-gallon cans, or a size larger is a 65-gallon can. The project would be, the cans would be fully funded by DEP. And so we don't really know which direction to go yet, but we've kind of been talking about it internally. Would you prefer a 45-gallon can, a 65-gallon can? Do you have a place to store a 65-gallon can? It'll be about 3 times the size of the small bucket that you already have. You know, you're still gonna get, your recycling service is still gonna be twice a week, depending on which side of the township you live on. It's a Wednesday or a Thursday and a Friday. Would you fill more than that in a week?
Just for show of hands, who would prefer the 65-gallon container?
65 gallons is gonna be about a foot taller than that. It'll be the same dimensions, width and depth.
Who would prefer the 45-gallon?
Yeah.
Who doesn't care?
That's,
And it's good to have a lid, because that's
Yeah.
part of the problem now.
Yep.
Push it on, and everything just blows around.
That's correct, yep. Yep, and we don't issue new lids. We haven't issued new lids in probably 10 years. We used to give lids when we had them, but yeah, that was the problem. The lids kept blowing off, and so we thought, okay, well, a hinged lid, so even if the container blows over, there's a chance that the lid still traps some of the recyclable material from blowing out.
Isn't there a smaller model that?
Yeah, the next size down would be a 25-gallon, which is what we already have, it's the buckets that we already have, with no lids and no wheels.
I see more votes for the 45.
Yeah.
Go for the 45. 2 votes yes, 2 abstentions, 1 indifferent.
Thank you.
I'll defer to Commissioner.
Commissioner Liaison?
I was gonna let this go this month. You know, there's been a feud between the school district and me, not the board, me. I got called out, they sent an email to the board of commissioners, and then they sent me a separate copy of the same email. This is the board, the school board. And then they sent me 2 emails, 14 minutes apart, from the confidential secretary to the superintendent. They don't want me to say anything, but I want you to hear what they wrote about me in here, and then compare it to what's been taking place in the past. They said the comments that I've made, and the comments that I've made are about A, the taxes. They put them up 2.4%. Keep in mind, last January of last year, I went to the school board meeting and asked them not to raise the taxes, and they didn't. This year, they raised the taxes 2.4%, even though the school was closed for a year. Even though they got $5.5 million from the federal government, they raised the taxes. They didn't need to do that. But yet in their letter, they say they respect every resident and taxpayer. They say my comments are disparaging because if you read the Reading Eagle, April 29th, The rundown of the list of schools, the school ranking, Muhlenberg School District is 15th out of 18. That's a fact. These are all facts. So let the fact checkers check to it. They're all facts. They said I was rude and offensive. Vitriolic rhetoric, what I said was dangerous, potential to incite violence. So facts these days, according to the school district and the school board and superintendent, are dangerous. So just to give you an idea of what I put up with, I became the school board liaison this past January. I believe it's part of what I'm supposed to do, to touch base with the school and then make sure that the public knows what's going on. Incidentally, the school board last November gave the superintendent a new contract, new 4-year contract, but the wages were never divulged, according to Red Eagle. So curious what they might be. We know it's over $200,000. While the guy runs us into the ground. In any event, just to give you an idea how I was treated, board member Richard Hoffmaster became visibly angry and walked out on the floor. That's a quote right out of Red Eagle at one of the meetings that I went to. So they call in the paper. The superintendent stated Red Eagle 3/13/2020 that my remarks at their school board meeting were toxic comments, distorted agendas, and hate, followed by this outright racism. That's in Red Eagle. These are all facts, look them up. So I just, along with this, I'm just going to say this. We all just got these in the mail, and they're due at the end of the month with trash bill. Everybody's went up. It didn't need to, but it went up anyway. So I'm simply going to say, speak out in November. I'm done.
Commissioner Imhoff. I'm just gonna make a couple comments real quick and then we'll wrap things up. Personally, I find it offensive that the school district sent us a letter. And here's why. They can't seem to take negative criticism from a taxpayer, somebody that may not have voted their way, but you know, deserves the right to speak up nonetheless. I find it outrageous. Now, I wasn't there in the meeting, but I'm pretty sure there are lots of people taking notes. I find it outrageous that they classify verbiage that disagrees with them, no matter how coarse or terse. And then they call it, you know, hate or race. They go right to the lowest of low. Then they waste time. They decide to send certified letters and waste more of everybody's time involved and do nothing to help the situation. Finally, so they will not accept our representative, but their representative is allowed to come to all of our meetings and speak up and act out. So that's just all I'm going to say about that. I don't think I find the whole situation embarrassing, and it doesn't need to be. You know, I think it's horrible that you know, people that disagree with you are condemned and you know, they can't even see this person anymore. You know, it's just horrible. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I think you know, there are a lot of people that need to act like adults and do the jobs that we, the taxpayers, put them in there to do. Moving on, everybody should get really excited for Riverfest. I think it's a bright spot in this community. I think it helps bring everybody together, and heck, after nearly 2 years, it'll be a welcome change and a welcome respite. So I want to thank everybody for putting up with me tonight, stumbling through a meeting, but we got it, and this is adjourned.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you for your comment.
Keeping it short, keeping it short, a little almost.
Right there. I knew, Danny and Benson. Those school board meetings, they attacked me, I was freaking hot, after walking out around the floor, they attacked me. And all these comments that you made are measurable. It was flat out, he's a failure. Period. Why the hell are we failing? School district.
Well, I can tell you, my kids think so.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. You didn't know my.
I gotta try to sneak on a trail.
The freaking Sparky. Yeah, right. It is. I wish full door like plaza would say it.
Hey, chief.
Yes.
We haven't, in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know your work schedule now, you kind of shifted around.
Wednesdays are free.
Yeah.
You can go with Wednesday.